everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're continuing our read through of Brandon Sanderson's The Way of Kings, and we're up to a really actually important chapter, chapter 36, entitled The Lesson. This is a little bit of a longer chapter, but in this chapter, Shallan is going to be challenged in a way that she's not been challenged before. She's gotten to the point where she really needs to make the decision. She has gotten close enough to Jasnah that she can be in a position to steal the soulcaster. And actually, as the chapter opens, Jasnah's bathing and Shallan's there reading, waiting to aid her in whatever way she needs, and actually has access to her soulcaster. She's worked and saved up her own money, and she's actually bought a replacement a gemstone. It looks identical to the one that Jasnah has that works. And so she's conflicted, right? Like she loves what she's found, which is a new avenue for her education to move forward. But at the same time, she still has her past that we don't know a lot of. We know that her father made some shady business deals. We know that he died, and that her brothers and she have concocted this plan. And that's really what we know so far about it. But there's a sense of desperation. And so actually, as the chapter progresses, Shallan chickens out. She backs out. She is not going to steal the soulcaster. She just can't do it. And she doesn't really understand what it is about the situation that is keeping her from doing her task. But her and Jasnah get talking, and they sort of get back and forth, and Jasnah sort of makes a comment that, Shallan, you seem really, really tense. Maybe we should do a little bit more hands-on studying. And Shallan knows it's because she's just in the midst of almost stealing this thing and backing out of it at the last second. And so Shallan's like, that's nice. And she says, maybe something like philosophy would be a nice change. And Shallan really can't help herself. Like, philosophy? I thought you said hands-on. And so they get a little bit of a back and forth. And Jasnah makes a decision that she is going to include Shallan on something that she has been planning for quite a while, without letting Shallan know what it is. And so as the second half of the chapter is Jasnah essentially dragging Shallan along at night in the streets of Kharbranth, and she begins walking down the shadiest of alleys in what feels like the entire city. And every step that they go, Shallan is getting more and more terrified. And Jasnah doesn't really help things when she lets her know that we're going to go down this road next. And she goes, why are we going to go down that road? She says, because this is the road that over the past months has seen a number of people attacked, robbed, and actually murdered. Shallan's like, why are we going down that road? Off they go. Jasnah begins marching, and Shallan's frozen in fear, and then pries herself and runs after her. I guess better to die with somebody than to die alone. And as they're walking down, Shallan begins to notice these sort of dark figures coming behind them. And Jasnah, with her soulcaster that Shallan did not steal, rips a glove off of her safe hand and illumines the entire alleyway. And there's 4 men with knives ready to attack, to pounce in the dark. And Shallan screams. But what happens next is very unexpected. Jasnah actually attacks the 4 men. 2 of them she places her hand on, makes contact with them, and with the soulcaster, soulcasts them. 1 she soulcasts into fire. Just actually his entire body is flame. Another, she actually pushes him, and when he saw the flame, he kind of like scampered back, tripped, and when he was trying to stand up, she touches him and turns him into a figure of pure, flawless quartz. So stone. She turns him into quartz. He's become a statue. The other 2 begin running away as fast as possible. And Jasnah does something that Shallan didn't know soulcasters could do. And maybe there's something more to this. We may find out later. But she actually, from her hand, casts what looks like a lightning bolt from her hand of stormlight, right? Just like the light that would infuse a gem. And this surge of power strikes the last two men, and they puff away into smoke. Everything gets calm. And Shallan is really unknowingly pushed herself back against a wall as far away from everything as she can. And Jasnah just kind of walks away and summons a palanquin, and off they ride back to the palace. And when Shallan finally kind of works herself out of the fear that has really frozen her, she begins berating Jasnah. Shallan begins berating Jasnah, saying, "That was horrible. You killed those 4 men. How could you have done that?" And Jasnah says, "Well, were they going to do anything less terrible to us?" Well, no, but you tempted them into coming after us. You showed them your wealth. We went walking unguarded down a horrible road. And Jasnah asks, "Can a woman not walk with her possessions down the streets of a city and not be afraid of being injured or killed or worse?" And they go back and forth here. And Jasnah is kind of proving a point here, like, what I did was good objectively. If you look at it, I got some murderers off the street, and now people in the future are going to be saved. She actually asks at one point, "How many lives did I save by taking those 4? And Shallan is just absolutely confounded and moves on eventually to say, "And you used the soulcaster, something that should be holy. You used it in a profane way." And Jasnah, as they near the palace, says, "Well, these are some things that you need to begin considering philosophically." That was not the right thing to say to Shallan. "You did all this to prove a point about my studies?" She says, "No, I've been considering this for a while, and I thought you may be helped by witnessing what I had done." And they're back now in the palace, in Jasnah's room, and almost casually just says, she closed her eyes and says, 50 strokes tonight of combing her hair. Shallan, it's been a fatiguing day." And really what happens then is Shallan makes the decision. This is a dangerous woman. She doesn't deserve to have a soulcaster if she's going to use it like this. She's rationalizing now. And while she's transferring some clothes and robes around, she makes the swap. And she thinks that she's been caught when Jasnah asks her to brush her hair, but no, she hasn't. So she stroked her hair with the brush 50 times, moving by memory, right? She's not even thinking. She's so caught up in what is happening here. Finally, she finished it. Jasnah took now the fake soulcaster from the robe that which she had it in, locked it away, and the last sentence reads, Shallan walked from the room, stunned, in turmoil, exhausted, sickened, confused, but undiscovered. So wow, she got away with it so far. What a hands-on lesson that Jasnah taught her. And what do you think about what she did here? She's trying to really prove a point that just because there is a system of right and wrong, can the system in this situation, being a vigilante, going around enacting what can be called as objectively good, which is punishing crime and saving future lives, is that something that someone should be able to take upon themselves? And what makes a police officer or some type of government official allowed to do that and not an individual trying to do something good? Jasnah pushes against all of these sort of societal norms, societal expectations. And she has a point in some ways, and that's what's so frustrating to Shallan. She is right that what she did was save lives. But what Shallan is still struggling with is, yes, but is it right to do wrong in order to get a chance to do right in the future? And that's an important question. And actually, all of us need to consider. Brandon Sanderson minored in philosophy when he studied at BYU. And so these are questions that he loves to weave into his stories, bigger questions than maybe just the story that we're looking at, but the story is an avenue to have these types of conversations. So what do you think? Vigilantism, is that something that you think is good? Jasnah clearly does. Shallan is really, really troubled, and actually by stealing the soulcaster has made her decision that this woman is way outside of where she should be. And I need to almost engage in a form of vigilantism myself. I'm going to influence her. So even in what she is pushing against, Shallan is taking matters into her own hands, probably thereby proving Jasnah's point. But Chapter 36, the lesson. An important chapter, and actually one that will come back later. What has happened in this chapter is not gone, and we will see what effects it has on our characters moving forward. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the read through. You like and subscribe. We'll continue on until we finish this book, and then yeah, sure enough, we'll start the next one chapter by chapter. So thanks so much, and we'll look forward to getting back together in the next video. But enjoy reading, enjoy the story, and we'll get that back together soon.